Good evening, I'm Alex, and for our Spanish-speaking viewers out there, Gato mi casa, my lamo Alex, and this is my guitar video. I've been playing guitar for quite a while, maybe 1 or 2 decades, ever since I got out of my grandma's pit. I think I'm about 90% pretty good. I like a lot of kinds of music. I like rock, and acoustic guitar, and drums. I like them all. I'm just a love machine. I'd like to consider myself a professional, so I always use professional guitars like this. A New York Pro. On this guitar, like any other guitar, you have 3 main parts. You have the tune box, the wood, the play area, the biggest part. You have 6 strings on any guitar except for the bass guitar. You have the thickest, thicker, thick, thin, thinner, thinnest. To keep my guitar nice and healthy, I like to use one of these, a guitar analysis unit, or GAU for short. Make sure we're in prime working condition. We're good. Now on to guitar safety lessons. Now with an acoustic guitar like this, it's made out of wood. Because they can be as dry as a 1930s Dust Bowl, you gotta keep them away from open flames. No smoking around them. And you can't play them around campfires. I can't stress that enough. As far as guitar maintenance goes, make sure you store it in a nice warm place with plenty of sunlight and water it 3 times a day. Now we get to play. The first thing, the most rudimentary thing that you can play on a guitar is the chord. Now a chord is when you put a bunch of notes together and you sound really awesome. The problem is that you kinda gotta guess where they're at. And here's a few that I've discovered. Like this one, the G. This one, the C. This one, the E. And so on. On the second level of chord playing, when you put them in songs, musicians like to string a bunch of chords together for the song. But when things get complicated, they can get pretty hard to switch. So what I like to do is to insert a CRG, or a chord resting gap, in between the chords. Like this. Sometimes I like to keep a tasty licorice whip on hand. You know, if you're ever in a rush, you can save a little time by dual wielding your picks, playing with 2 instead of 1.
Hey Alex, what kind of picks are you using?
Guitar picks! Now, the most important thing I can tell you about acoustic guitars, and your life may depend on this one day, is once you reach the master level of playing acoustic guitar, you can start to write your own songs, like this one I wrote a few years ago, A Cold Poughkeepsie Rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, got a big old flish, I'm gonna treat it like this, got a big old flish, gonna treat it like this, got a big old flish, gonna treat it like this, got a big old flish, gonna treat it like this. As the great Swedish guitarist Thursby Hobweiler once said, while you can play rock and roll on an acoustic guitar, you can't rock with an acoustic guitar. Now we have a guitar that we can rock with, an electric guitar. The best thing about playing with an electric guitar is that you have all these little blips and swoods to play around with. Now, I'm going to demonstrate each of the blips and swoods sounds for you. First we have the phaser. It's called a phaser because it's solid, one of the 4 phases of matter. Next we have the overdrive. It's shaped like a bullseye. Next we have this big green math box. Next, we have a delay, but we can't play that one yet. The blue thing. Now, the tuner really gives a good vibe to my signal. I like a good stretch to do as an exercise is to stance like this, the Zach Wilder. Taps are kinda cool. They give a space-age thing. This next segment's called Jam with Alex. It's a revolutionary new program that allows you, the viewer, to jam along with the star, me. I'm going to provide a rhythm track while you solo over top of it. I've also enlisted the help of my friend, Jasigathy Tundraman.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've decided for this part of the video to take a question from one of my longtime fans. He writes to me that some blues players allegedly can tell you an epic story discussing the very nature of humankind with one sustained note. Well, I'm going to demonstrate this, but first I'll need my trusty guitar administrative unit to find my note. We have it. This note that I found here tells the story of a human being overcoming the odds. A woman overpowering her attackers as she comes from the supermarket.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thanks for doing things and helping me be here. Keep your rock and roll spirited dreams. Grande es mucho. Now we're going to take my folk song, A Cold Poughkeepsie Rain, to a new level.